All right, we're in World 0 with the Guardian Mastery class. A little bit of a basic showcase real quick. Nothing too critically mid-maxed. A bit of disclaimer, as always. These showcases, every time, like the next Monday, they always do some balance changes and changes later and fixes later. So we'll maybe come back again if it's major. But right now, I'll show you guys how it played and how it works and all that good stuff. All right, so this is the Starbreaker class. In order to unlock the Starbreaker class, you have to go ahead and play the Guardian class. So you click Guardian class here, and to go and unlock it by defeating, it says 5,000 level 100 plus mobs and defeating targets with your aggro ability. So if you have your aggro ability on a target, it will give you progress. He's level 35, so they won't count. But as long as you have that ability and they're attracted to your character, you should be able to do it. I'm not sure if it's just a buff or it's the enemies. Enemies are it. I don't know what I read. It says just when you're using it. So I'm assuming when you're using it, even if they're out of range, maybe just having the buff active. Also, do remind you that for the Leviathan one, you were able to farm other people as long as other people in the Dragoon class was using the same ability or using their combo ability. They were able to progress the quest as long as you're in a party. So I'm assuming other people who are playing Guardian in your party, and they're using the aggro ability, you will progress the quest as long as you're killing out 100 mobs and over. And I'm sure usually you grind the infinity dungeons, either Infinite Tower or Celestial Tower. Mostly Infinite Tower. People will be grinding that and you get this done. Not that bad, I would say. I don't know. But anyway, so that's just the gist of unlocking it. Let's go just briefly over the class in the menu here. So it is a high health class, tanky, I guess you could say, in terms of when you swap to it. The main gist of it is the Starforge. When you get Starforge from this ability, you enhance your other abilities, basically. And there's a lot of AOE and decent stuff. Like I said, this is not min-maxing. We're using epic swords here, so nothing too crazy with that in terms of damage. So let's go ahead and start off with the first thing. It is the basic attacks. We have here is Stellar Slash. So it's just a basic attack. It doesn't do anything unless you have the Starforge. So you can see here, you're hitting double here. This is the auto attacks, the speed of it. There is I'm trying to move while attacking. It doesn't really work. It's basically stationary, kind of locked in there. But you can see, oops, how it's going here, animation wise. It's basically double at the same time, which is pretty cool. The one thing to remind you as well, since these are dual wielding great swords, you can only have one perk active, or the perks on one sword active at once. So if you're building something, just remind you that like people like to do double different weapons and then different elite perks, whatever it's called, rare perks, elo perks. And you can always swap your perk by pressing this button here, so you can see you know which weapon you're using. So there is that. All right, dodging doesn't do much. It's all the same. Nothing crazy with that. There's nothing gimmicky with it. It's just a normal dodge. Doesn't do anything extra like other mastery classes. Then we have the first ability here, which is going to be the E ability, which is the Nova. This one, it's a bit, I find it a bit awkward to use. So it's a 3 shattering dive. When you hit all 3 attacks, it will then combo to a 4th strike. So you see an example here. 1, 2, 3, and then you see it glows like everything else, and you press it again, and it'll do one big explosion, basically. So it's a bit hard to trigger on weak enemies that die in one shot, because it will not give you the 3rd hit. You know what I mean? So for example, if I went over to this slime over here, it's going to kill in one shot, and it won't do the 3rd or the 4th shot because it died in one shot. So it has to work on healthy targets in order for it to get the combo out. All right. And then when you land the 4th hit, it will give you more progress for the Starforge, which we'll talk about in a second. But the 4th hit does more damage. Let's do it one more time here. So the 3 hits will hit. You can adjust yourself to move slightly with it. So but it also, the fourth hit is a big AOE, so you'll see that. And you also don't have to do it right away. And you do hit 2 at the same time, or just, I don't know, let's see how long it takes before it expires. So just for a nice no, alright? So it's up right now. Let's see here. It's like 5 seconds until it expires, but it goes on full cooldown. So you do want to use it when you can, alright? Then we have the next ability, which is going to be the R ability, which is Flare. Now this ability, it lasts for 8 seconds, as it says, and it spawns a flare that will travel around and seek enemies. So here it's used on a dummy. It's very flashy. You'll see. It is doing damage, and, you know, nothing crazy when you look at it, but it does an explosion when you first put it down, but then the radius is about roughly that. This is the radius for it. Now it will seek targets. We're gonna find some enemies real quick. Here are some slimes and spiders. We put it down, boom, and you'll see it will move towards enemies and kill it, basically. So there's that. It will have a bonus when we use Starforge in a second here. So the next ability, which is their main ability, it is the Starforge ability, which is the F ability. Now, it is kind of similar to the ultimate for Hunter. Doing damage will progress the bar over here. It's only 1x. It just shows 1x. They might remove that, but it doesn't charge above that. And it not as bad as Necromancy, the Necromancer class, as Necromancer, you need to get kills to charge it up. Well, this one's just doing damage overall. So this is good for, you know, at least you can fight a boss without killing anything and just doing damage will charge it up, which is very nice, right? So when you use it, real quick, it will empower our auto attacks and empower our E ability and our ability. Well, no, not E ability. It empowers our auto attack and our flare attack, not Nova, which we'll explain in a second why we said that. But it also gives us 20% damage resistance, so this gives a little bit tanky. So here we'll use it one time. It will do an explosion. We do use it for the first time, and it slows enemies for about 5 seconds, which is very good. It leaves a little bit AOE there. When we auto attack, you'll see that we will now shoot these waves of damage here, which is a bit hard to see, but it's still going. And then we use our R ability, which I don't use it too late. Oh, no, there we go. So there's those little 2 flares here. And it'll spin around and do a lot more damage and more ticks of damage. And I can see that we are at about 30% charged to the next F ability. It does have an eternal cooldown, right? But the best thing about it is that you can charge it up even when it's active. So it's not, so you can still, like, just like the other abilities like Hunter, you can use the ultimate to charge it up. You can use other abilities when it's active to charge it up, which is important because you have the Nova ability. When you actually use the 4th strike, it will give more bonus towards the F ability. So your main gimmick is to use the E ability to go ahead and charge your F ability as fast as possible. So there is that. So you can see here, we'll use it again, and we'll show you guys the R ability here. Basically, so there you go. So you can see how it moves. They separate, of course, and they go pretty fast with the ability active. Okay, and it does charge up a little bit. You can see there. All right, so that's just a small gist of it. We'll go over some other, like, some combos after in a second, but that's just of it with that. It lasts for about 15 seconds. You can't. Well, I won't say. Anyways, let's go with the ultimate here because it's a bit hard to charge up. Okay, so I have the ultimate with Diffusion Fall. Instantly, when you pop it, it will give you the Starforge buff, so everything will be buffed up with Starforge. And it combines your sword into a giant sword. And when you auto attack, you will do giant AoE attack. So here's what it looks like. There you go. You got one giant sword. It does a giant attack, and then you can see whenever we attack, it will do a giant AoE. And then since we're Starforge, basically, we will get other abilities active at the same time, or everything else. Now, before we finish this, we press F ability. With this active, you will refresh your buff. So now we have the ultimate. Well, we don't, but it refreshes the buff, but it doesn't keep the double swords, unfortunately. But it is pretty fun, keeping the buff active. Plus, you can charge up your F ability again, but of course you can't keep it all the way through. It's a bit difficult to keep it active forever. I think the developers have made it pretty much impossible to keep it on forever, but that's just, I think that's pretty much it though with this class. So it's a lot of it, it's just juggling your buffs, a lot of AoE, but very flashy. We'll do some, we'll do a Nightmare Dungeon, maybe a little bit Infinite Tower, see how it goes. Of course, you don't have good weapons for this, but we'll see how it goes, I guess. I will say that I did try to use the teddy bear here, or whatever this is, the Broken Heart ability, which makes it we get ability cooldown. It doesn't really work. It doesn't reduce the cooldown that much, but you can spam a lot more with it. So, for example, if we were to use the pet ability, then we use our thing. It doesn't. The cooldown is unfortunately, the cooldown is not affected by the teddy bear. Maybe intended, but if it was, then we're able to basically farm. Like we already have it up. Like we were able to get all the charge back up with the teddy bear buff, but unfortunately the internal cooldown is way too long for it to come back up. So even with the teddy bear, it doesn't work, unfortunately. If it did work, then we would probably be able to keep up Fusion Starforge more active than everything else. All right, so let's go ahead and try a dungeon real quick. I'll try Nightmare. Maybe not challenge mode because I don't have good weapons. So I'll just do a normal. Just for you guys how it goes, and then yeah. All right, so let's see how this is gonna go real quick. We do have a lot of health, so, but also we also don't do so much damage, unfortunately. But it's all about the ability scaling, though, and more of a. So we do less damage. So the abilities at scale allow us to bypass not having good weapons. That's another good take we have here, surely. The thing is, like, you should always have enough ability or enough time for using when you have Starforge active for it to always have Starforge active once it comes off cooldown, basically. Now, it is a lot. Like I said already, it's a very flashy class. Maybe a bit too much. I want to tell you this already. No problem developers making like this, but I can't see anything. And now I thought Leviathan was going to be like, Leviathan's pretty flashy on its own. You really can't see much when all the bubbles pop around and drains well, but this is another level of flashy. You know what I mean? I can't see anything. Unfortunately, like, I'm gonna die to any type of enemy boss attack. Now you see that. I mean, the one thing about that, when you're Starforge, right, you get these auto attacks where you get a ranged auto attack. Now that's cool and all, but I think the cooldowns are so low, you don't really need to auto attack. From my understanding, I should really bring all these guys in at the same time. But from my understanding, I don't really auto attack that much. Like, it's cool that you get a nice range, but I just don't see it being that great, to be honest with you. I think just spamming abilities, and it's the cooldowns are short enough that it's good enough. You know what I mean? It's good enough, right? And this is just Nightmare. This is not challenge mode. If it was challenge mode, it would take ×2 longer, as you would think. Also, but the dungeon's also pretty short. This is a very short dungeon. But we'll see how the boss goes. This clear, and this area is clear here. Enemy clear. Unless I die. Well, I have life, so that's fine. Also, about like 1,000,000 health. I can't see anything. I cannot see anything. I cannot. I literally cannot. And this boss fight would be the same thing. I cannot see anything. Let's just see what we do. How we do here. Gonna stun me. Like you're gonna drop like fire on me and I can't see it. I mean, is there a way to remove clutter? I don't remember. I know you can for other people, but show other attackers. I don't think there is. There's alt. It's auto attack. Oh, it's so loud. I can't see. I can't move. I can't see. E ability does a lot of damage, which is good. I can't see anything. There we go. I mean, without having that much health, I mean, oof. There you go. I think that's pretty much it. I mean, I'm sure it's fine. Infinite Tower. It's just that the tracking on it would be very useful, for sure. If I had better weapons, then maybe go a lot faster, but it's not bad. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like I said, it's very basic showcase. Maybe we'll come back next week to see if it gets fixed or not, or anything, any changes or any fixes. I'm hopefully the visual effects get changed a little bit. It's very flashy, like I said. But anyways, that's it. On your video, that's it.